you sent them MP3s or links or anything like that, you'd be wasting your time.
Everybody, welcome.
All right.
It's that time, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
All right.
Big Joe.
Everybody. Oh, stop that. Everybody, a special day in the neighborhood. A very, very special day. See what my pulling in. A very, very special day in the neighborhood, ladies and gentlemen. We have producer Joe Solo.
Yeah.
Great to be here.
Joe.
I'm so excited to be here right now. I can't tell you. Well, I can't tell you. I'm so excited to be here right now. And I'm here to serve your viewers and help them provide armament so that they can realize their music dream or whatever their dream is. That's what I'm here for.
Ladies and gentlemen, this man is a gifted music producer and author. Continues to go on and teach. We're going to give you a chance today to learn about all the things he's doing. Part of the issue with people like Joe Solo is they're difficult to describe because they have so many things going on. I like to say they have multiple projects in various stages of development.
Oh man, usually they all fit together in a big master plan. I don't even want to.
So we got
what is that plan?
Right. So we got to show you a little bit about his life, his story, and find out a bit of his history. But ladies and gentlemen, as part of that, let me make sure you understand that this all is happening here today because of our guest host, ladies and gentlemen, Ray Ibarra.
Big Ray.
All right.
Conversation with Shark Tank winners.
Thank you all back there in the crowd, everybody.
Ray Ibarra Show.
Great to be here. Pack Stereo TV Studios.
Yeah.
Live interactive online
place.
reality.
Gorgeous
Q&A
setup.
TV talk show at its best, right, Doc? And everybody outside. Hey, what's going on out there? Are you watching? Yeah.
Hey, show
There they are. There they are.
They're drinking. Now, Ray, you got to tell us how it came to be that because you're the one, we meet fabulous people through Ray Ibarra. For those of you who don't know, Ray Ibarra is the host of Conversations with Shark Tank Winners. Very successful series. Also, out there in the community now with events where you can come and be part of watching and meeting and greeting with the folks live in real time. So he's out there promoting that brand, doing his things. Also, the successful book app that he has out there, Conversations with Shark Tank Winners, Ray Ibarra, and the evolving Ray Ibarra Show. So this is a man who's out there with his hands in a bunch of things. And because of that, we end up with Joe Solo.
Yeah.
So tell us how you came to me, and I'm going to tell you in a minute we're going to go take a tour. No, because they have so much stuff that they're into. We're going to go take a tour of the Joe Solo world in a minute and kind of pull it all into context.
I don't know if you want to walk around the mic.
Wear loose-fitting clothing. We always tell you wear loose-fitting clothing, preferably cotton, something washable. Okay. Ray, how did you meet? Tell us about this whole connection.
Oh, God. Well, you know what? You don't even know this, and Victor doesn't even know it, and Solo and I go back actually a long, long way.
Well, tell us the part that we can...
Yeah, well, you know what? we were in a band together.
Oh, really?
Yeah, yes, a long time ago, and that's how we met. What was it, 86, something like that?
I forgot to mention he's a guitarist, right?
Yeah, and I was
Joe,
a bass
you
player.
considered yourself.
A bassist. And
I didn't know that, Ray. Bass?
Yeah.
Bass guitar, everybody.
Yeah,
Wow.
And we were in a group together back in the day. And we played all around Los Angeles when it was a Coconut Teaser, Madam Wong, just an endless amount of gigs, man. So, we have musical roots together, a lot of history together. This guy, songwriter extraordinaire, man, very, very talented, extremely talented. And then, we went our separate ways from the group, and I went in a different direction. Joe went in a different direction, same direction, but...
I went into producing and writing instead of performing.
Right. So it was a lot of fun. I mean, it was a lot of back in the day, like I say, the Coconut Teaser, Madam Wong's,
Sunset Strip,
Club Lingerie when it was back there, man.
I remember Club Lingerie.
Yeah. So it was really cool. It was a really great time. So that now you know something a little different about me here.
Yeah.
That's when I was Democrat. Now I'm a Republican and married now, man.
Well, I feel you. Mixing it up.
So Solo, go ahead, man. You know, tell us the journey. Tell us what you've been doing. Tell us all about that good stuff, man.
I'll tell you about.
Tell us from the beginning, Joe, because
Your little history? All right,
because I know about the Macy Gray thing, and
All right,
I want you to
talk about that.
Give a little bit of the prehistory, though, of Joe Solo, your background before you came here.
All right,
before the Macy Gray. Then we're going to go to Macy Gray.
Here's something I'm always curious to find out about people who get into music. What was like the original inspiration that you discovered that passion? Way back when. I'll tell you what mine was, and it's nutty. My parents gave me a record called Alvin and the Chipmunks sing the Beatles' greatest hits.
The Alvin and the Chipmunks series was very important.
I was
to me,
introduced to Alvin and the Chipmunks.
That's right. That's good
or
shit.
to the Beatles through Alvin. I talk about him like we're buds now. Al and I, you know, we hang now. He looks great, by the way. I don't know how he does it, but he still looks young. But anyway, so I was introduced to the Beatles and the whole concept of music through Alvin and the Chipmunks, except those voices were so high. We had a record player that went 16 speed, which is almost half of the 33 and a third standard turntable speed. Yeah. So what I did was, so the voices would be normal, I would listen to them at 16 speed, and then they would last twice as long.
That is so weird, Joe.
You know, but it would be like
that is genius.
And I'll miss you, and like that. But I was so into it, and then eventually I got into the actual Beatles, of course. And now the ironic thing is, years later, when I was learning guitar, and I wanted to be able to play lead guitar very well, and when I wanted to learn really fast solos, what I would do was I would use the same technique, and I would slow the record down to 16, which is about half of 33. So the solos would be half as fast, but an octave lower. The same notes, so I could hear what was going on, pick them out.
Amazing.
Funny how, like, you know, everything leads into everything else. But let me move on from Alvin.
Because your parents bought you, right?
Yeah, they've been behind me the whole way.
That's an amazing thing about your parents, because it sounded like, from what I heard, that your dad bought you that first 4-track recorder, right? Is that kind of that's what kind of got it going?
My dad's 11 aunts and uncles and his father were all traveling vaudeville entertainers.
What?
So,
wow.
After like a first year in college. Well, let me go back a little bit. In fourth grade, I was like, Dad, I want to play guitar. All right, and he's so excited. He
got excited. So the average person says that in the fourth grade. I'm not sure your parents get excited. Right?
He was like awesome. He was so excited.
Whoops. Wow, that's cool.
He was so excited. He went out and bought like this $1,000 amazing classical guitar and signed me up for a year of classical guitar lessons with the best classical instructor in Cleveland, which I grew up in Shaker Heights, which is outside of Cleveland.
Okay.
And man, a lot of talent in Ohio, a lot of funky talent.
Oh yeah,
big influence. But anyway, so he gets me all this stuff, and in my mind I'm going, Dad, I meant electric guitar, not classical. I wanted to rock, right? But I didn't have the heart to tell him because he spent all this money and signed up, did all this effort. So I just went ahead and took the lessons for a year and learned a lot. And now I'm glad I did. I learned a ton. But after a year, I was like, I hate the guitar. This is not what I wanted to do. I wanted to rock, And I told my instructor that I wanted to quit. And he said, I've got a funny feeling about you. I think you're going to come back to music someday. Now, I'm sure he says that to everyone who quits so that they come back to him for the lessons. But I'm gonna pretend like he meant it for me. All right. So anyway, come around 7th grade, I'm listening to some Led Zeppelin, and all of a sudden I was like,
What song? What song, Joe?
It was called Rain Song, the live version.
Okay.
Song Remains
because I get Zeppelin on that shelf.
Of course. I remember this moment. I was lying in bed, and Jimmy Page was jamming, and all of a sudden I was like, I gotta rock. and I said, Dad, I want to take lessons again, but it's got to be electric. All right? Okay. So he went out, again, bought a whole bunch of gear and all this, spent thousands of dollars on this amazing amp, this beautiful guitar, and it was a nice, clean sound, but it wasn't the dirty, fat, distorted sound of rock. So I went and spent $35 on a distortion pedal, and he's like, I don't get you. I spent thousands of dollars giving you the purest, greatest tone imaginable, and then you go and spend $35 on a distortion box and screw the whole thing up.
But that was the thing that was happening at the time because
that's rock, yeah.
The electric guitar had just been redefined by Jimi Hendrix and a bunch of other people. So now what was considered to be, it was groundbreaking at that time. Now we can look back, right, Joe? But at the time, that was the redefining of the whole rock industry, right?
Well, Pink Floyd and Roger Waters were a big influence on you, too, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, man. Yeah, Pink Floyd. Tell us about that, man. Yeah.
The melody and the vibe, it's all about feeling, there are guitarists who, just shred, and I can do that if called upon in service of the song, but I prefer to go melodic and just say it with a few notes. Just, it's like a person who can gab, 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 gab and not say much, or you could just say a few words and make a point. Boom.
Like B.B. King?
Well, exactly.
Now, let me tell you guys why we're setting this up, because for some people, they're going wow, because later on, this man went on to become the songwriter producer that was really the mainstay of Macy Gray's development and career. So, in other words, he met her when she was basically working at the checkout girl somewhere. She was working.
Yeah, all right. So I'll jump there. All right.
So that's why we're going.
Gotcha. Thanks for moving me forward. I'll get stuck in the moment and stay there.
That's my job. That's my job.
Me too.
All right.
And Joe, it's all relevancy. I needed them to know about how you came up, because we often wonder about what is the mindset of these people who go on to become. And my thing is that we start at an early age. We play at these roles, and then the opportunities develop. And that's why I think Joe Solo is such an excellent example of that, because he was already living the dream. And that's why the dream happened. So go on, Joe.
So I took my electric lessons for about a year. After that, I took advanced college level music theory classes in high school. There was only 5 of us in the class. So I learned a lot of music theory.
That made your dad happy, right?
Yeah, I didn't make the teacher actually. We were such snotty kids, the 5 of us, that we forced him into early retirement because our egos were So sorry about that, Mr. Mosier. But I apologize. But I want you to know your lessons did take and help me out. So thank you. I appreciate it. So anyway, now I went to college for a year for marketing, and halfway through, my buddies that went straight out to Hollywood to get into music were like, "What are you doing with your life? You got to be out here. You can always go to school. You got to get out here now." This was after the first semester, and I was like, "You're right."
What college was this now, Joe?
I was going to Hofstra University.
Oh, yeah, Hofstra, New York.
In
New York.
Long Island, New York. And Long Island. And so I said to my folks, I said, "Look, I want to go for it. I want to go for it, and I won't let you down. And I'll never, ever quit. Ever." All right? So, and that's good advice. Don't quit.
Don't
quit. 2 words.
Man, yeah.
Don't quit.
Yeah, don't quit.
All right. Now,
Absolutely.
so Dad is all for it. Yes, go for it. So I go to Musicians Institute, which is a music school in Hollywood.
Oh, yes.
I signed up for that just as a way to kind of get out here and get started. And about halfway through, I bailed for a variety of reasons. I was just really bored because they were kind of teaching me what I already knew. But I learned so much just from jamming with the other students that it was worth going. That's where the real education was, But I really wanted to get going. So, and then you and I, we started our band Solo Dancer, so on and so forth. And
I still have that cassette in my drawer with all of our photos and everything on there.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I saved
lots of long hair, right?
Yeah, oh, yeah, way down here, man.
And as you know, I started learning production and got a job as an internship at a studio. And at the same time,
You worked at the Hard Rock too, man. And
I was a busboy at the Hard Rock.
You were connections at the Hard Rock, yeah.
Always.
Yeah.
Now, one day I walk into this place called Larry Parker's Beverly Hills Diner.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I remember Larry
And
Parker. Yeah.
Yeah.
and
What time?
this is midday.
Okay, because it's important to set the vibe
And
on
I'm
this.
paying my bill. I'm paying my bill, and the cashier's like, "Hey, you look like a musician. Are you any good?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I can hold my own. You know, I'm pretty proud of what I can do." "Well, I'm a singer-songwriter, and we should get together and write together." Like,
Okay.
I'm like, okay, this really funky African American chick with the voice, who's the cashier, is out of the blue for no reason, sussing out that I'm a musician and suggesting we write together. Maybe the universe is telling me something. So I was like, sure. We got together the next day.
And notice, by the way, let's not gloss over this point. Wait. Because he went with it. Now let's not gloss over that point, because these are the type of moments in life that tend to define us. How many people face that same thing, blow it off? I can tell you, as a person who approached people with internet television, I'd offer people to come on these shows, and they just look at me and go, "I don't get it now."
Too bad for them.
That has happened so many times.
Yeah.
So I say, how many people? But notice, Joe,
We got to be looking for opportunity.
Karma's in here somewhere, everybody. So
We really got to be open. You got to be open to opportunity.
right, you have to be
right.
open to opportunity.
And you got to recognize it too.
That's
man.
right.
You know, open
Yeah.
to it and recognize it, and run with it. Right. I mean, take advantage of it.
That's
sure.
why we would define luck as when opportunity meets preparation.
Sure.
That's luck. You've been getting ready forever, and now here's your opportunity. So anyway, Joe,
All right, so
you
okay,
went with
so
that.
I'm paying my
calling
bill.
you.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Woo!
So I pay my bill, and I'm like, yeah, sure, let's get together tomorrow, you know. And so we got together, and we write this quick song, and she starts singing it, and like within 5 minutes, I just stopped her. I said, wait, right now, I will commit to being your producer, partner, co-writer, and do whatever it takes for however long it takes until we break through. And I will not stop. And I'll make that commitment 100% right now. You got me.
Christine Devine
Day
talked
one.
about that.
This
on
is
the
day
news.
one.
Yeah, Christine Devine talked about
you're
that.
the type who probably stay married.
Oh yeah, I'm very into loyalty. I'm really loyal to loyalty.
The ladies liking that.
And
Nikki's smile.
And it took 12 plus years to have our overnight success.
Yeah, that's
So-
a great point though, because there are no such things as overnight successes. I mean, we get up every day, we do the things that are necessary for the time during the day, right, Lee and Nikki? We got to do those things.
Right.
I always say consistency is one of the most difficult things to achieve. Being consistent, because more often than not, you're going to do things that you don't feel like doing, or something comes up somewhere and you got to stay focused, and it becomes very, very difficult. But consistency is really, really, really important.
Well, I like to say, if I may toot my own horn, I'm consistently inconsistent.
Okay, just debunk my theory here.
No, it's not a good thing, believe me.
I tell you what,
No, but
let's
you're
listen
right.
to the track. Now, for those of you who are watching the rebroadcast, this will be later deleted because of the copyright issues at YouTube. But for right now, for those people who are watching live, certainly
We didn't do
it's
this
covered
big,
by our
full,
license.
huge production. It was an acoustic, a clean Strat, and her, and that's it. You know, and eventually that song ended up being the first single on her second worldwide release.
Grammy.
And Rick Rubin was brought in to produce. We had Erykah Badu singing background vocals.
About to say, exactly.
Billy Preston
That's
was
right.
a keyboard player for the Beatles and the Stones.
Yeah.
Played,
The legend, yeah.
played keyboards on it. John
fifth
Frusciante,
Beatle.
guitarist of the Red Hot Chili Peppers, played. I played, and all my tracks were left out because they weren't appropriate for the song. Well, that's fine. Serve the song.
You got paid anyway,
but it
right?
made you a
Well-
top 11, like you were saying.
Yeah, I'm not a top 10 songwriter. I'm a top 11 songwriter.
There's some
Top
places
11.
in between, though, that as a musician and a singer-songwriter, I'm so curious. How did you shop that song? So you started it with the raw sound, and you had this demo.
Okay, here's what happened.
How did you shop it?
Here's what happened was, it's a business built on trusted relationships.
Yes.
And a good friend of mine who I grew up with, the guy who told me you got to get your butt out here. His name is Daryl Swan, a great producer, and he ended up doing a lot of production with Macy and other things himself. Amazing producer. Boy, this brings back memories. I'll tell you, but he. Wait a second. Before I answer that, I'm just curious. What was your thinking behind the question?
Well,
and I'll tie it
because
together.
I'm there now. We have.
What do you mean there?
I'm with my producer. We
Uh-huh.
have this song. And we did exactly that, and we also talked about our relationships with other people, and so we could help write this song. And now I have this song, and it's
What do you do with it?
It's beautifully produced. I have David Hidalgo tracking drums on it, who plays with Social Distortion, and that synergistic thing that happened with the song, and then other people believe in you, and then amazing people come along and play with you. That's what happened to my song.
And now you're like, I have it. Now what do I do with it?
Now I'm about to get it mastered.
Right.
And I know I need to have an LP or at least an EP before I release it.
Maybe we'll talk afterwards.
Okay.
There's lots of strategies. There's lots of different strategies.
That's what and then should I do Kickstarter? But then I really love the song and I don't want to hold on to it for another 7 months.
So you're looking for the next strategy is what you're looking for,
I'm
right?
like, I'm
Okay.
not sure
Well, that's what I
what's
do. Is I help
available.
people come up with a custom roadmap for their success. I mean, I do private coaching.
Well,
I do, and it ain't cheap, but it's worth it. It'll change your life.
Well, actually, that was the section we were going to be getting into next as we get into. I've got it all right here ready for you.
Well, let me answer her question,
So
though. I
let's
really
deal
wanna
with
give her an
this
answer.
first, and then we'll go
so
there.
Here's what happened. Was this producer Daryl Swan? All right, his music partner Casey, who was sort of part of our inner circle of trusted relationship people. She's very connected in the music industry. She loved the song. She says, I want to play this for this publisher at a place called Emerald Forest Publishing, a lady named Linda Blum, who's just a fantastic woman. And she heard the song and just, same thing, fell in love with it. She signed Macy to a publishing deal right away. I chose not to, because I figured as long as they'll be working it for Macy, I might as well just hold on to my entire ownership and still reap the benefit of them working it. So I later on signed a publishing deal, but she ended up shopping Macy to a bunch of labels, and Atlantic Records picked her up, and we did a record, and right before the record was done, the A&R guy left the company, and we were dead in the water. We were dead in the water.
Sounds like
It
a
was
movie I just saw
That's the
the
way it
yesterday.
is.
It was a big
heartbreaking.
picture.
It was
Yeah.
heartbreaking.
Wow.
But don't quit,
Right.
right?
exactly.
All right. Now, eventually, I asked Daryl Swan, that producer, to come into the mix and add a little bit of a funkier, hippie-hoppier element to it, which he did very well. And so eventually she got picked up again by Epic Records, which is part of Sony, and things just flourished from there. So that's, in this case, how it happened, and it came through trusted relationships.
It's all about relationships and networking. Hey, James,
Trusted
James,
relationships.
networking, relationships, right? We talk about that, right? How important is that? I mean, in doing.
Critical.
Uh-huh.
Got to develop those resources.
It's
in your
everything.
life, that support structure, and you never know who's gonna be the next to lead to get to where you want to go.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Wonderful initial entry into the world of songwriter, producer, guitarist, Joe Solo.
May I do an epilogue to the
Yeah.
story?
Okay,
Yeah,
yeah, you may do whatever you wish, my brother.
All right.
As we say,
when
we run
Sweet
this,
Baby
we run
was
this.
announced as going to be the first single on this record, that day, a lady named Rose Noon, the A&R director over at Epic Records, called me up and said, "Oh, wait, by the way, I sent this demo to Rose, the A&R lady, and said, you need to consider this song for this record." Because Macy hadn't given it to her because it was kind of like, it's old news, blah, blah, blah. And she fell in love with it. And the president of Epic and even the corporate executives in Sony in Japan fell in love with it. I mean, this is the kind of political power that ended up being behind what became a single. Everybody was into it. All right. So the day was determined that it was going to be the single on this record. Rose, the A&R lady, calls me up and says, "Do you mind if I put word out to publishers that this is going to be a single?" And of course, she wants me to have a good publishing entity behind it because they'll try and get it placed in film, and TV, and commercials, and help bolster, the song commercially. So I'm like, sure, of course. That afternoon, I get a call from almost every major publisher on the planet.
Wow.
And a bidding war started.
Great.
Wow.
And if you want to hear the rest of the story,
It's like being a pretty girl at the party.
Come to my retreat in Malibu because it's an amazing story. But the bottom line is, I ended up with an advance of almost $500,000.
Wow.
And more important than that,
A lot of taxes.
was I had the power of major publisher. It was called Famous Music, which was which at the time was Paramount's publishing arm. And now Sony has absorbed them, so now with Sony. All right.
Famous. Big deal.
And all of a sudden, they put me into all kinds of stuff, and it just exploded from there. And all of a sudden, I was a rookie in the big time and terrified. Terrified. Because now my comrades were Madonna and, Daft Punk. And, well, they wouldn't exist then. But you get what I'm saying. All of a sudden, I was a rookie, a little baby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I went from being, the big fish in the little pond to the tiny little amoeba in a huge ocean.
But that's
Yeah,
a
you gotta
that's
adjust
a
your
that's a good point though,
wardrobe.
because you're talking about transitioning then from here, you get to this certain point, and how do you make that transition then once you get there? How
You
you've
get
been
comfortable with
here-
being uncomfortable.
Okay.
Get comfortable with being uncomfortable.
Okay.
That's the only way to grow. You got to put your ego down. I mean, success in music is truly a battle with your own ego to be real with yourself. Can you improve and bring it? Which means when people give you constructive criticism on your song, you have to pay attention to it. You don't have to follow it, but, if everyone's telling you, "Hey, dude, I love the song, but the 68-bar harmonica introduction is a little bit too much. You might want to bring it down to 2 bars or eliminate it altogether."
Right.
And you go, "No, you don't understand my music." You're probably not going to be successful in this business. If everyone's saying that, pay attention to it. If 2 people are saying that and everyone else is going, "Oh my God, I love the 68-bar harmonica solo," forget the rest of the song. Pay attention to that too.
Okay, an entrepreneur, a music entrepreneur, entrepreneur in any field. There's certain things that they all do. The music business has changed tremendously since the time you and I were in a group
It's
over the
changed
years.
since we started this interview. That's how fast.
Right. Okay. So what does it take to be a successful entrepreneur? Just period.
Yeah. All right. Because to be successful in music or anything, you really got to be an entrepreneur, which means you have to be. You have to have a working knowledge of marketing, networking, accounting. You have to have a working knowledge of promotion and publicity and know what the difference is. All right. You have to manage everybody on your team. You have to learn and know how to delegate because you can't do everything yourself. This is a painful lesson I'm learning myself. So you have to be a Renaissance person, or you have to know how to delegate out to the other Renaissance people for them to do their expertise, and then you manage it. Like Henry Ford was in court once, and they were asking the lawyers were asking him all these questions to try and make him look foolish and discredit him. Like, well, do you know this or do you know this? And he says, I don't need to know it because I've got a bunch of buttons on my desk where I can push a button and I get an expert in that field to inform me on that and then handle it.
Yeah.
Ooh, what a great answer. Now apply that to your business sense. Find other experts and
absolutely
have a working knowledge so you can manage them.
Yeah.
But learn to delegate.
Right.
So, ladies and gentlemen, if you take a look at joesolo.com, you get into the part of Joe that we wanted to introduce before we, got too far into the show. And take a look, because Joe's other enterprise is that he also serves as a private career coach for people in the music industry. Let me just give you sort of an overview. When you go to joesolo.com, you can get a look at Joe and his philosophies, plans like getting 500 fans, and he'll tell you how getting 500 fans equates to $50,000 a year. His philosophy of treat 'em special, the video nuggets, which I'm about to show you a piece of, and again, all this tying into the way he serves. Remember, we took you through a little journey, his early years, the 12-year journey with Macy Gray. 12-year journey in the building of the team.
I just had an email exchange with her the other day. We're reaching back into the library to look at material for her next record.
Wow.
From way back in the day.
Wow.
Well, take a look at this. Well, let me give you some audio. Hold on.
Can I set this up for a quick second?
Yes, of course.
What these are is I have a series of video nuggets that are 3-minute tips. They're absolutely free. And then I also send written tips every few days. And it's called the Music Success Video Nugget Series. It costs you nothing. You just sign up and get free, great information. Well,
great idea.
That's it.
Great idea. Great idea. Because
Hey,
JoeSolo.com right now.
I want to ask you.
see if I can get this.
I want to ask you.
Joe Solo here. I'm the Los Angeles record producer who developed Macy Gray, and I'm founder of the Music Success Workshop. I've developed a set of free short videos that will help you learn the skills necessary to make it in the ever-changing music industry of today. But first, let me tell you just a bit about my background. I'm a record producer, songwriter, and composer, and have been for over 20 years. I've had the pleasure of working with Fergie, Will.i.am, Michael Jackson, Rick Rubin, and Quincy Jones. My credits include HBO, Apple, Fox, American Idol, Dancing with the Stars, and many, many others all over the world.
Good job.
I wish I could somehow download how truly amazing and wonderful it feels to be successful in music. But I can't, so I've produced a series of short videos that'll show you how to accelerate your music career. I call these my Music Success Video Nuggets, and I want to send them to you free of charge. Each nugget covers one vital concept or one thing you could do right now to help you spring ahead in your music career. So to get these valuable video nuggets, just enter your email address on the box on this page. You'll receive your first one right away, and then you'll get a new one every week. You'll also receive my weekly newsletter of useful tips, advice, and personal experiences, as well as updates about important music industry events, opportunities, and the live seminars and hands-on workshops that I give all over the world. So to get started right away, just fill in your email in the box on this page. Immediately after sign up, you'll get your first nugget. It's titled, How to Get Your Music into Film and TV. Soon after, you'll begin receiving career-building information that you won't find anywhere else. Keep in mind, there's no cost, and you can cancel at any time. I'm Joe Solo, and I'm in your corner. And we'll see you in your first nugget in just a minute.
Sign me up.
What about games? Gaming and that. Should we do that?
We should talk about that.
Go ahead, start talking.
Because okay, here you go.
In my at my upcoming Malibu Beach House Music Success Retreat.
Okay. When's that going to be?
So what was that? Say that again.
Originally,
Malibu sounds successful already. Say it again. Slower, Joe.
I'll slow down. Joe Solo's Malibu Beach House Music Success Retreat. The URL is musiccareersuccess.com. Although if you sign up for the nuggets, you're gonna get information. Okay. Originally, it was actually going to be in a couple weeks, and I decided to postpone it until the last weekend in September, because I've been burning the candle at both ends, and actually went into the hospital last week for exhaustion.
Oh, wow.
I want to be there to give 100%.
Okay.
To the people there. So we bumped it back 3 months, which I think is a smart thing to do. Anyway, if you want to get in on the action, I'm only selling 30 tickets. I'm keeping it real intimate, because the whole goal of the thing is to walk out with a customized roadmap to your music success.
Okay, who's going to be there? What kind of talent? Who's going to be there?
Okay, I'm going to have a panel of 7 music supervisors and publishers.
Okay.
And maybe a couple
you got a
other
fan behind you here,
music
man.
executives. Hey, yeah.
Hi, Joe. How
Hi,
are you?
good to see you.
Thank you so much for everything that you've dropped on us today.
My pleasure.
This
My pleasure.
afternoon. It's amazing. I do have a question.
Go for it.
So you basically discovered Macy Gray, right? And I would love to learn from you, as a fledgling entrepreneur, how you were able to pitch her to the big guys, right? How can you walk us through that process of how you prepared yourself for maybe talking to the big recording companies?
Hey, sign up for the video nuggets, man.
Yes. Well, I will. That sounds fantastic. You know, because a lot of small businesses and entrepreneurs are, have great ideas, trying to get those ideas off the ground.
That's a whole nother thing.
Yeah, well, I would imagine that having a voice like Macy Gray's voice and wanting the world to hear that is kind of the same, in the same world or in the same realm, as far as wanting to get your idea, your business idea, out to the public or out to the world. So is there any techniques or anything you did that kind of helped you prepare yourself and really talk to the big guys and make it happen?
Rather than focus on me, let me focus on you and you out there.
Yay.
There's a thing in marketing.
Slide back off. Thank you so much.
Good question. Very good question. There's a thing called
Good question.
there's the it's all about uniqueness. Unique means one of a kind, not very unique. You can't be very or almost one of a kind. You're one of a kind. All right. So there's a thing in marketing called the USP, which is an abbreviation for unique selling point. What distinguishes you from everybody else? And hopefully it's not price. Discounts are the last refuge of the marketer who can't distinguish themselves with their quality products or services.
Wow.
So they have to discount stuff in order to move it. All right. You've got to find your uniqueness. And this applies whether you're an artist, an entrepreneur, anything. What makes what you're offering special that people can't get anywhere else that they need?
Is that the same as because what I always tell people is this: look, find out not what you're good at, but find out what you're great at, because we're all great at something. But sometimes, like I heard somewhere in a show not that long ago, that life doesn't come looking for you; you got to go find it.
Well, absolutely.
Okay? But I believe that we're great at something. Sometimes it can be very elusive, and we just need to. Are we talking about the same thing or something a little different?
Well, that's a critical component and a good point. But what if what you're great at already exists 100 other places?
Okay, yeah, good point.
So you have to come up with a unique spin on it, a unique take on it, where people can't get what you have to give from anybody else. Now, creatively, artistically, that's extremely important to have what I call your signature sound. And what I do as a producer, a big part of my job is to work with an artist to cultivate their signature sound. That's a very big part of what I do as a producer. All right. And think about Macy, her signature sound, quite simply, is her voice. It's as simple as that. And I was just fortunate enough to have the universe, plunk the opportunity to meet her because I was hungry, and I went and ate at this place and met her. The causality of things is just mind-blowing sometimes, but I often think, boy, if I'd had a snack earlier that day, I might have never made it in music.
No, you would have made it. You had a snack somewhere else. And
who knows? Who knows? But find your unique voice both artistically or if you're an entrepreneur in some other area, something unique about your product or service or how you deliver it, distinguish yourself from everybody else.
Mm-hmm. What's your unique sound, Lee? What do you?
I'm still finding it. I think I really love the blues rock sound.
Mm-hmm.
Playing some Led Zeppelin right now, but there's like Alabama Shakes, Black Keys, and then I don't know if anybody knows. Like I love obscure artists too.
Sure, go for it.
Caroline Smith. I don't know if you've ever heard of her.
I have not.
But she's just all those people mixed up together in a vat, and maybe you have me. I'm not sure. But
Yeah, sort of Americana with an edge.
yes, I guess so.
Yes, I guess so. Okay.
Well, it's you. I don't really make music to categorize it, right? You're not thinking that. You just want to make a really great song.
Good. Hold on. Let's. I want to say that again. You don't want to make music to categorize it. You just want to make a great song. Mm-hmm. At my last LA workshop, I had this wonderful artist who'd been doing pop for the last several years because everyone in her circle of influence was like, pop is where it's at. If you want to make it, you got to do pop. But in her heart, she was a country gal. But she was doing pop and not breaking through. And I listened to her music right there in the workshop, and I could hear how it wasn't authentically her. And so she's like, what do I do, Joe? And I said, well, let me ask you a question. Let's just say you looked into a crystal ball, and whether you did pop or country, you would be equally as successful. Which one would you choose? Mm-hmm. And without hesitation, she goes, oh, country, absolutely. And I said, well, then that's what you should do, because that's where your passion is, and it's that passion and authenticity that will move people through your music and connect with you, and that's what will lead to your success. And she burst out in tears because she was like, I needed someone to say that to me, to give me permission to do what I want to do instead of do what I think is best for success. And I see this all the time where people are trying to do whatever the hot sound is, but it may not be who they are. You got to stick with who you are and be authentic. Now, after she broke out into tears, all right, I came around and gave her a big hug, all right, and this was just like within the first hour of the workshop, where we go around and find out everyone's name and story and what they do, and I kind of figure if I haven't gotten somebody to cry by lunchtime on the first day, I haven't done my job. So I felt that.
I'm going to stop you there because we got about 5 minutes left. I want you to talk about your retreat here, music retreat here coming up in September. So talk a few minutes on that.
All right. If you go to the URL musiccareersuccess.com or sign up for the Nugget series, and you'll get information on it at joesolo.com. You'll find out that I'm throwing what's called the Malibu Beach House Music Success Retreat. It's at this $10 million beach mansion in Malibu, and I'm bringing in 7 music executives and music supervisors for a panel, and then you can also have dinner with them, so you can start your own one-on-one trusted relationship with them. That's highly valuable. And you stay the whole weekend at the mansion. That's the full package. And there are other packages where you can do it without the lodging and spend a little less, or if you want the panel and all the instruction I give throughout the weekend, but you don't want to do the dinner, then there's a ticket level for that. So, and I can say this with no hesitation, it's a life-changing event for you. All right, and the community feeling that you have there, the people who become part of your new network. They become part of your music support system. It's not just me, it's everybody. And I don't run this thing traffic school style where I talk for 8 hours and then take questions. It's interactive. We get people involved like in the first 4 minutes. People are asking questions and making conversations, and it's not just me rendering advice. Other people have perspective to give too. So it's highly interactive, it's fun, and I like to crack a few jokes throughout too. So, we have a good time with it. You meet music executives and boost your career. You could shave off years of trial and error in a weekend.
Hey Mario, quickly, we got to have some of your panel in here to talk about it beforehand, before the event happens.
Sure.
I'd love to have them in. What do you think about that?
I think that'd be wonderful. It's been a wonderful perspective learning day here with Joe Solo. Ray.
I got one thing that I like. Yeah, go ahead.
If he's available, one of my panelists is Rick Barker. He's the manager who broke Taylor Swift.
Oh, wow.
The #1 artist in the world right now.
Wow.
And he's one of my panelists.
Oh, excellent.
All right.
Incredible.
Wow. And Rick is just a fantastic, enthusiastic guy who wants to help out. He's like my twin, right?
Okay.
And so he would be my first choice to do exactly that.
Okay,
and
sure.
So I think if you want to meet him, come to the retreat, and if you want to hear about him, come listen to this next broadcast you and I are setting up right now.
Absolutely, that would be fantastic. And
tell them a little bit about that, Ray.
Yeah, I want to invite you to and everybody here and those out watching us right now. June 11th at the DoubleTree Hotel downtown. I have my live entrepreneur panel presentation where I've got 5 Shark Tank entrepreneurs coming in to talk about their experiences, some of the $1 million, some of the big, very, very successful ones, talking about their experiences for entrepreneurs. The DoubleTree Hotel. It's my live panel presentation. I'll be talking about important points from my multimedia book, Conversations with Shark Tank Winners. I partner up with the biggest networking group on the meetup.com website, Network After Work,
I'll be there
to produce that. So we'll talk about it. I'm inviting you. I'm inviting everybody here. It's a great event. If you want to get on Shark Tank and find out how to do that, you got a business idea for anybody who's an entrepreneur. So you're invited. We'll talk about that. Everybody out watching, please mark your calendar for June 11th.
Yeah.
And anything that you want to say?
Well, first of all, I want to thank everybody for tuning in to this event. Pack Stereo.
Woo!
Live TV, gifted music producer, author, instructor, career coach,
and
Joe
dad.
Solo. And
Oh, yeah. How are your kids doing?
Great.
Yeah. Tell us quickly about your kids. Just
10 years ago, I adopted, along with my current ex-wife, 2 beautiful 2- and 3-year-old African-American sisters. They're now 13 and 14.
Wow.
It's like living with 2 Bart Simpsons. I love them to death.
That's where you get your soul from, brother.
And
man.
everything I do is to serve them ultimately.
Oh.
And that's why I want to help them. I want to support their lives. I want to help people get their dreams. I want to have a good time doing it. And I want to make a decent living at the same time. So, follow your dream, help others, make a good living. Bing, bang, boom.
Right.
everybody,
The perfect trifecta.
producer Joe Solo.
Yeah. Woo! Yeah.
We want to invite you to stay tuned for the iVictor photo shoot. We're going to be taking photos of Joe and our guests. You can stay tuned and enjoy the music. Thank you for tuning in. This has been Pack Stereo TV. I'm your host, Mario Hemsley.
Thank you
Here
so
with
much.
my partner in crime. Thank you.
What's up, people?
Thank
All right.
you, Joe.
Woo! Yeah. Yeah. Vic.
And people, don't quit.
All day.
Yeah.
Don't quit. Don't quit.
Don't quit. That's great.
Don't quit.
We are still live, you guys, while we do the photo shoot.
That's right.
So
Stay
everybody
tuned for the
enjoy.
iVictor photo
Thank
shoot.
you, everybody.
Here's what I did was one of my video nuggets talks about the most important.
I like the way that you make me feel. Now slide your key in, ooh, it gives me chills. And with your engine trapped in my thighs, it's a power rush, a burning bush. You make me wanna fly, oh, out of this traffic jam. Dangerous and without a plan. Fill me up, boy, and let me ride. Crazy love, it's a crazy love. Feel the wind blowing through my hair. So alive, boy, and I'm so scared. Never knew love could move so fast. Crazy love, it's a crazy love. Pour it on, boy. Take me to the night. And ain't no stopping. So what's the use in trying? Destination. Baby, all I know is that you and me were meant to be. Never let me go. This traffic jam, dangerous and without a plan. Fill me up, boy, and let me ride. Crazy love, it's a crazy love. It's crazy going through Never knew love could move so fast. Crazy love, it's a crazy love. What's the use in trying? Crazy love. Give me chills. What's the use in trying? Crazy love. Give me chills. I never thought that love makes you crazy. I never thought that love makes you high. I only hope that love is forever. I only hope that love never dies. In and out of this traffic jam, dangerous and without a plan. Fill me up, boy, and let me ride. Crazy love, it's a crazy love. Feel the wind blowing through my hair. So alive, boy, and I'm so scared. Never knew love could move so fast. Never let me go. In and out of this traffic jam, dangerous and without a plan. Fill me up, boy, and let me ride. Crazy love, it's a crazy love. It's crazy, it's going through my hair. So alive, boy, and I'm so scared. Never knew love could move so fast. Crazy love, it's a crazy love. Crazy love. I like the way that you make me feel.
Like a mixer that gets